And welcome back again. This time I'm looking at Hyper Light Drifter. This is an indie game I've been really looking forward to a long time. It's been in development for many years now, and it's pretty much everything I thought it could possibly be. First, as you can see, the art style is absolutely amazing. They've got so much detail placed into the world, from the tiles you're walking on to the backgrounds, and just some really epic set pieces there. Even the cutscenes themselves are done in this rich pixel art approach where you can tell how they have built, how they have crafted it, but just done it so masterfully that you just have to stand in awe at just their technical know-how and artistic skill. It's sorry, getting into combat. The combat is really quite fluid as well, and just skills and how they change together, it really motivates you to get better, both in terms of how you're using your skills and when you're using them. It has this insane difficulty that really quite grips you early on. Mobs hit hard and you really only have a limited amount of health. 5 pieces of health, and that's it for the rest of the game. You have health packs you can pick up, but they are hard to use in the middle of combat, so it really starts to just put skill further into the equation. Champion's skill. The world design is really quite interesting as well. You can see there's lots of different paths, and the maps actually feel quite open in how you traverse them, how you go about them. There's a lot of little secret areas you can see here. It came around the corner and you can see some stairs. And these little areas, while they are hidden, they do give you cues as to where and how they might be open. It doesn't look like I can get in there yet. Alright. Probably have to open up an area first. There is a deep complexity in the world design as well, both having to backtrack areas and just keep aware of where you're going. The map, that's the map, is really quite large and detailed as well, but I feel it's not very well signposted at times. You really can't be sure where you're going, where you want to go next, and sometimes the places that you do want to get to are really quite hard to understand how to actually get to them. I guess that's part of their world design. They want you to kind of explore and discover these aspects. But after, trying to find a specific area for an hour or more on end, it does get a little annoying. It's pretty cool. There we go. These little things are your skills. So once you've done a full block, it then opens you up to be able to, buy new skills, upgrade the skills that you have. Usually need about 2 or 3 for each of them, and they do make a pretty big impact on the game. It's not necessarily that they add so much to your experience, it's more just that they improve what you already have. Being able to jaunt extra, big attacks, that kind of thing. And I guess that's the approach of the game. It isn't just about getting more powerful. You are this lowly drifter, this diseased mongrel walking about the lands trying to fix and trying to, I guess, save themselves. But the tools you have are limited, and it's just about getting better at them in order to, succeed at the game. Okay. There's a good range of enemies too. I haven't been in this area before yet, so I'm still kind of exploring it out. And each area has their own design for enemies, and they each have their own way that you really have to think about how to attack them and how to kill them. They do show a few different enemies occasionally. Enemies will replay themselves from different areas of the map. Damn you, come down. So you do get a handle on certain enemies rather quickly, but it's more just where they're placed, how they're placed. And this is kind of how they tell the story as well. It's not necessarily this grand lore and story adventure. They're not telling you too much all the time. They're not overloading you with information. They're just kind of telling the story through the world itself, the world design, the art assets, and just a few cutscenes or speech bubbles that pop up with a picture on how the story of the world is progressing. So far, that does feel rather minimum, and I do feel rather lost with the actual story of the game. I'm not sure what the actual motivation is behind my drifter, except that he is coughing up blood all the time. I'm not sure on what's the big evil, what their plan is, what they're doing. I'm not even sure about the people themselves. It's really quite just minimal in how they're doing things, and at times it's good. It allows them to really develop the world and tell a story through it, but other times it's just not enough. It doesn't give you enough context on why you're doing something, and that's kind of important too. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, let's go this way. Got it. The mechanics are a little jumbly at times. Sometimes just not activating and I guess following through in the way that you want, especially the speedy jaunt. It's really quite hard to chain that together into a really fast one. And it should just be as easy as pressing your spacebar over and over again, but I believe there's this deep timing situation to it. But even that seems a little bit too fiddly at times, a little bit too obscure. And that's really the game. It's just obscure and obtuse at times. It doesn't want to tell you too much. And while that's good occasionally in terms of exploration and just figuring out the mechanics in the world yourself, growing and learning as you go, other times it just leaves you a little bit too unawares as what's going on, what to do next, all that kind of stuff. Pew pew. Hello. So, a monk for the bird village. Burning it all down. Escaping. It's pretty damn minimal. That's the story of the game. Obscure and obtuse. I'm guessing they do have more of that understanding between the lore of the game. Like, you can see that kind of stuff in how the world is developed and how these characters are developed, but it's just not expressed that well. Hey, little puppy. I think I coughed him up, I'm not sure. And the other adventurers you meet seem to have the same disease too, so I'm not quite sure if that's just an aspect of the world or if that's the evil they are fighting that's causing people to die like this. I do have some issues with how the game runs as well. Like I've said, with some of the mechanics, they're just a little bit too unpolished at times, a little bit too fiddly, but also it's locked to this 30 frames per second sort of gameplay. And usually I would be a proponent that, you know, FPS really doesn't matter and 30 FPS is fine. But for this pixel art approach and with the heavy combat and oftentimes quick moving visuals, it often just adds a little bit extra strain to your visuals, extra strain on your own, like, visual processing. Sometimes after playing this game for a couple of hours, the screen starts to just tear a little bit, shake a little bit extra than I feel it should. And while when you're playing for those first 10, 15, 20 minutes, it's not something you notice, the more you go on, the more you tend to notice this just kind of janky visuals. Let's see if I can get some more combat to show you. Pew pew. Bad people. Pew. And the mechanics themselves, they really have thought about it. Like, you only have so much you can do. You limited potential. You only have 5, bullets you're able to shoot. But then you're able to, make that better by just killing more people. Oh, that hurt. Pew, pew, pew. There we go. The game is it's all about getting better personally. Getting better with the limited skills you do have. And there's something kind of rewarding about that. Something kind of pure about that approach. That's, I guess, why Dark Souls is so popular in games like it that champion difficulty. It's all about executing simple maneuvers well. Oh yeah, that went well. Thank you. Oops, health pack. We don't need it. And the chicken! And there's another one over there too. They like hiding things throughout the world. You've really got to explore. I think I might be able to go left. Yes. You can kind of tell sometimes where they're leading you on. No, I can't go left yet. Alright, fair enough. And this way. Oh, alright, let's keep going. Ooh, hello, Birdman. Bird Mage. Oh yeah, too easy, Bird Mage. The Bird Mage. Took the hit, but I got him. Oh, I hate you guys so much. Fucker! Now I have to start that area again. Death is its own reward. No. Death isn't too punishing. It's not going to, take away all your skills and abilities. It's just kind of reload you at the last little area you're at, so you can get back into the fighting really quickly. It's kind of good, and it's that just basic roguelike design that makes it feel easy to get into, yet not as punishing with the tough mechanics. Oh, I'm stuck. Uh-oh. Where are you, birdies? Ow. Oh, yes, gotcha. Bonk. Sweet. Oh, yeah. Little victory move. Now, most of the time, these areas don't respawn after you've cleared them. Sometimes they do, though, and I don't know, it's kind of disappointing in my mind. You've took the effort to clean these areas out, and with how much you have to backtrack around the map to find special places, to find that new path that you needed to go, it just feels to punish that sense of exploration that's often needed in the game. I need those pink things. That opens up the areas. See, once you've unlocked 4 of those little pink squares, then you get to face the boss. Yes, the boss is in there, I think. Here's my square. My first square here. Jeez. Took that slow. Alright, I think we've got to go back down and explore more. Alright, can't go that way. You want your squares. Oh, don't tell me you want squares too. You want 3 squares. Jesus. This is where actually having a better map would probably come in handy. I know they are trying to champion exploration and just that sense of adventure. It's that old school Legend of Zelda kind of vibe, but I don't know, it just kind of frustrates me a little bit. I kind of want, you know, a bit clearer indication where I'm supposed to be going next, what I'm supposed to be doing next, all that kind of stuff. I'm glad the maps are as open as they are, but just better signposting would really help. This way it looks like. Fingers. Right, into the dungeon. Oh, that's a face. Oh, I didn't see that. Damn you, tricky buggers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't try me, Birdman. Ooh. Ow. I hit that box. That hurt. Oh. Pew, pew, pew. Pew. This is going to fall out from under me. Alright, sweet. Lots of bird people. Let's do this. Uh-oh. Oh no, I should have healed up beforehand. Oh, I'm back here. Fuck. Ow. Ow. Yeah. Mess with you, Birdman. Pew, pew, pew. Alright, let's heal up, and then we're going in. Too easy, brah! You dead, sucker! Go! As you really kind of get used to the combat. It's kind of cool. There we go. Skill things. We'll play for a couple of minutes and then we'll let it go. Oh. I didn't mean it. I wasn't ready. Phew. Let's... Oh, I ran into that bullet totally. Alright, let's... There we go. Come with me, and you'll fall down. Thank you. Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. And yeah, just you can see how this little maps and areas kind of tell a certain story. They each have their own approach, but then what you're seeing and what you're encountering does seem to tie into an overall narrative. that hurt. Oh, ouch. I was unprepared. I should have healed up, I think. I only had one more health pack left, so I didn't want to waste it. Let's go. Oh, I got eaten by a slime. 30. The gun is really janky too, I find. Pew pew. That's good. Haha. Really? This gunplay is just... Oh! Why did she jump backwards? Gunplay is a little weird sometimes. Oh, I found a secret area. Awesome. Page to explore. See, they kind of like tell you halfway on the floor there. Phew. Nice. Let's heal up though. Oh, I walked into that. Nice, another skill thing. Go through the next door. Kinda want to get out of this dungeon. It's a pretty cool dungeon then. Easy peasy. Oh, I walked into that one. Oh, what? I meant to jump past the person, not into him. Him or her. You can never tell with Burke. Back to there. And health back. Alright. Let me try and walk from the other side. Oh, that hurt. Haha, you fell down. Sweet, health pack. I'm gonna have to jump into him. Whoa, rocket launcher. Go. Oh, that was intense. Nice. Let's keep going. There we go. Another little square. Bong, bong. Triangle. I'll say triangle. You go this way? No, you cannot. Oh, sweet. And that is Hyperlight Drifter. It is a very interesting game. A lot of really deep while simple mechanics. The art style is gorgeous, but there are a few technical issues there if that is what you dislike. Overall, it's definitely a plus for me and I recommend checking it out. See you everybody. Thanks.